to Pinfall. I'm your host, Danny Bell, brought to you by Region Sports, where the region comes to wrestle. We're your resource for wrestling in the region, and tonight we have Kevin English, head coach of Lowell Red Devils. Now, Kevin has been all over the place nationally. He's got his own elite athletic club. Used to see us all the time, see him all the time on the commentary. We'd have him scrolling across the bottom. He's had a lot of good wrestlers come in through him, and I don't doubt he's going to have a lot more here in the future. It's good to have him here. We've also got a couple of his wrestlers here tonight that we're going to go through. One of our wrestlers that we were going to have isn't going to be able to make it. Evan, Stanley is a stud, and we'll get to him eventually. I'm sure we'll have our time to get to him. But first, we'll get to Coach English. Coach, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Good. So, I've kind of been wondering, because I've been hanging around with you for a couple of decades now, and I've always wondered, where did you get your first start in coaching?
I want to say my dad, with my little brother, obviously helping him out, encouraged me to help him out. We got a 10x10, drilling together, led to coaching, my little brother, and then my dad pushing me in that direction. And then injuries too, sideline quite a bit in my career. Broke my elbow, knee surgery a couple times, and when you can't compete, you coach. But mainly my dad, pushing me to learn the other side of wrestling. Hearing it from one of your coaches and then seeing it from yourself in your own different perspective, and it just helped me small adjustments. So.
Right. Having a sibling as well that was competitive, Evan Wesley, that, I'm sure that was pretty cool, and being able to help him, bring him up to speed as well. He had a pretty good career, and being able to watch Wesley wrestle and watch you have the same kind of passion that he did when he was wrestling. How was it to be a big brother of a guy who wrestled? Because I know you were coaching him and helping him out in the room and stuff. What was it like helping him through that process?
I always wish I could have helped more.
It was bittersweet.
Yeah. He was so talented. I mean, he had really good hips on the mat, moved real well, but was real boring at the same time, But great head-hand position. He was a really good wrestler, and it was fun. I remember him starting and not winning for like several years, and laughing and running away, and it was just fun. And I remember like, oh man, this is embarrassing. And then later on in his career, I looked up to him as an older brother sometimes at some of the things that he did. He did some really big things. It was fun. Yeah.
He had some amazing matches with some amazing guys. It was a really good start to what blossomed into a coaching career for you, and now a coaching career for him.
Yeah.
Having you two both together is kind of it's a no-brainer, and I know we spoke about this before you even had done it. I kind of was trying to nudge you for a few years to get into it because I knew travel wrestling wasn't your only gig. I knew that you could bring more to the area. By whatever school you went to, you would end up making them better. And year two, it's already kind of proven with 3 state qualifiers. Not that Lowell couldn't produce them without you, and they were doing it before you. But I think that they picked the right guy for the right fit, because the wrestlers that you coach, you have that right kind of mindset to bring them up to speed. And we saw that this year with 2 freshmen and a sophomore at state. Now, having Evan come back from Mount Carmel was a blessing for not just for Lowell and you, and it was for Indiana as well. Having him back was nice. You've got some wrestlers still though that are on the team that are coming up. What are the guys that are going to be able to make some impact next year?
Well, thank you. And then Evan coming back, that was that was something cool. It just happened, and I think more than anything, Evan just followed his heart. He wanted to be happy, and I didn't know until it was like happening, and when it did, it was stressful at first, just wondering how relationships would mesh and stuff. But those kids all know each other from travel wrestling throughout the circuit, just because they don't train every day all the time. At that time, it almost seemed like they had before, if that makes sense. Like they weren't in the room every day as youths. They were in different programs, but then when they came together, it was fun. And then Evan being happy, I think that was a big key. And seeing him come in and lead this year was really cool. It was fun. And then the season, who do I have coming back? All right, I think we have 8 semi-state qualifiers coming back, which is pretty cool. We qualified all 14 to regionals, so we got 12 regional qualifiers coming back. Out of the 14, we graduated 2. So, I mean, we have experience coming back, but that doesn't mean those guys are going to be in the varsity spots. I hope that with this freshman class that's coming in, they're competing for spots, and then guys moving into weight classes, and they're already growing pretty big.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I expect some big things this year, and I don't want to put anything out there. After this season, it was fun. We won the conference in a tough conference. I mean, everybody says DAC, and I get it. I'm a Doolin guy. I wrestled in the Doolin, and I know how tough it is. But man, NCC was tough this year. Don't tell me we weren't with Hanover and Hobart. And then the other teams are all coming with Maldonado building at Highland, and then Munster's on your tail, and those teams are growing. NCC was fun this year, so we won that. We won the Tri-Coff this year, which was amazing. That was such a fun tournament. We had fun as a team and meshing, and we won some big matches there. That was a lot of fun. We beat Portage, Franklin, Fishers, really good teams that you're like, wow. Lowell beat those guys. We won the LaPorte Super Duels, beating we beat Maryville and all these other big teams. It was just a fun season. We didn't get what we set out to do, but it was fun. So.
Well, you guys have a good system set up. I've watched a lot of your kids blossom through trial and error, and basically, if it's sink or swim in wrestling, and we put them in abilities and situations to see whether they can thrive. And as a coach, I've watched you put guys in situations where you weren't sure where they were going to be good enough in that, but it was most of the time it was in an early match or against a guy that you knew that they would be better off in if it came down to it. But then you would kind of look for things that they're screwing up rather than fix the things that they're doing and make them better. You're one of those guys that looks for the things that you're screwing up, and you enjoy that. You're like, oh no, actually you did this fine, but you got to fix this now. And that's why a lot of the kids that I coach, I send them to you like, hey, look, we're kind of similar. He does the same thing I do, so I want to send you to this guy. And I've watched a lot of the guys that I started like messing around with in the beginning, and when they go to you, I tell them every single time, you're gonna love this guy. How is it that you? What is the first thing you're looking for when a kid's on a mat and you're trying to fix what he's doing? Is it what I said, or is it more or less you're trying to have a round aspect to it?
Every approach and everyone's different. I mean, we do some things, or I look for some things. Obviously, I don't know. We've been blessed to have some wrestlers come through this door that love the sport. The parents love the sport, and we keep them consistently doing the right things and game plan together. And I think that's what works. At the same time, if I'm looking for somebody, it's every kid's different. I've seen kids that at youth, you didn't know that they were going to turn that corner. You just tell them to keep, like we say, keep chipping away. And then all of a sudden you start to see it, mostly in their work ethic or in their learn to love the grind. That's I don't know, I say that all the time, and I don't know which coach embedded that in my head, and obviously it sounds cliche, but those are the ones that you look at and you're like, okay. Because this sport's mentally and physically brutal. And it's the most lifelike, right?
It is.
Like when we talk about overcoming adversity and stuff like that. So when I'm looking at youth, or when I see the kids willing to run through a brick wall and then learning mat IQ and picking up technique and trying to do all those things, that's when I start to realize. But as far as teaching these kids, I don't think I do anything special. I don't know, a lot of repetitive work, a ton of repetitive work, basics, win big matches, have a gas tank, the season part's easy. It's just that we're sharpening the tool. Right now, it's being made from this point of the season on, that back half all the way into October. That's the go get mat time, go get held underwater and see how well you do, and then come back. That's the one where you go get bumped up in an age group. If you're 15U, you do 15U in high school, and you go get 15 matches in a weekend, and you figure out what you're made of. That's when the season's done. So I don't know. Everything kind of comes together and touches base on the parents, the kids, the work ethic, the traveling, the picking up mat time. I think it helps too, and obviously the biggest help is parents.
It is.
You can't want it for the kid. The kid's got to want it more than you. And when that starts happening, and the parent buys in, and they start working together, and then everybody's one big circle, it goes. That's our big freshmen have a real big backing at home, with their families and stuff. So.
Yeah, your big freshman. Speaking of big freshman, Cameron, we'll be speaking to him here a little bit later. I'm not sure if he knows, but I know his name is Hazlitt. I refuse to call him Hazlitt from back in the days, or Hazlitt. I call him Hazlitt because of back in the days. You've seen it from when he was a little kid. He just had it. He would be messing around, and then Allen Iverson, the situation, like practice, and he would go out there and mollywop people. It was fun to watch, because then you're just like, you gain so much, faith in the kid and trust that, when it comes down to it, I may not like the approach right now, but you're a kid and you're having fun with the sport, and I know how hard this sport is. And he consistently was okay with bad situations. And I just knew he had it. And with a name like Hazlitt, it kind of just stuck. And we'll see if he remembers, or he can find out about it here in a little bit. But
he, I think we got him when he was 6, maybe just turned 7. But I remember watching him, and he beat up on my nephew. And I think he was bumped up. We were talking about this earlier, but he was bumped up, and my nephew's a couple years older, and Cameron bumped up and beat his tail. And I'm like, who's this kid?
Yeah.
Like, this kid's pretty tough. So he had it, and then he wound up coming here to Elite and training, and then did he fell off for like, I want to say 3 years. We just were not going down the right path all the time. Getting injured a lot of bad things happened, that he overcome some adversity, right? And then got lucky enough to able to work with him still now in high school, and even the beginning of the season, it was very bumpy, and it was put in a new environment, and it was very difficult for him, and he did such a great job. He's still doing a great job of improving, and the big one was it's just learning, team atmosphere, learning how to work as a team, not an individual, and then learning to try to be a leader too at such a young age. And he's in the heavyweight division. He's thrown in against men. It's just, juniors and seniors dominate that weight class. Anyways, and that loss at Al Smith was just fantastic, actually.
It was the perfect thing to happen.
It hurt, it didn't hurt like painful. It just hurt because we were like, man, I know how good you are, and we know how you performed. It was not a shot against Zaborski, because he's really good.
Really good.
We just knew that Cameron didn't wrestle his best, and Cameron wasn't training. He just wasn't training right. And that loss just helped elevate everything, and then he started to do the right things at home with his sleep and eating properly, buying into the program. I know they hate mornings, but I had a system that I hope I thought we peaked at the right time. I think a couple of us might have different times. It's hard to peak all 14 guys. We got it's difficult. I don't care what coach and how tenured you are. It's very difficult to try to get them to all peak at the same time.
Because you can't do it for them.
No, and you're not. It's not college, right? It's not MMA. I don't have hands-on all the time. I get them for so many hours, and that's it. I can't call them at 1 a.m. and tell them to put the sandwich down and shut the refrigerator.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack & Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strack & Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strackandvantil.com.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
And we're back. Kevin, we were talking here a little bit ago about the boys. Now, Noel and Cam with Evan, you had 3 state qualifiers. These were some really hard workers. Evan, coached by his father for a long time, Joe being another one of the coaches at Lowell as well. It's good to have 3 hammers in a room like that. What's it like having some kids that you're familiar with already to lead by example in the room?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun this year trying to figure out who was going to take the lead. But I tell you, Evan came in right away, and not he didn't steal it from anybody. He just came in and was like, "All right, I'm home." Felt comfortable in the environment, and the guys understand when you're leading by example, they just fall in. So that was pretty nice to see. Evan really took the lead right away. Noel was obviously laser focused, fell right in line. Wound up winning the captains as well, and I do. You got to earn it. You don't just get it. There's not just. I don't care if you're a senior. I don't care if you wrestled 500 years. It doesn't matter. Show me, and then we're going to choose that way based off your actions. And Noel earned it. We wound up getting. He was our freshman captain. Our sophomore captain was Evan Stanley. Our junior captain was Dawson, and our senior captain actually was Aiden Abad. And that's just how they fell in line as far as leadership. And it just so happens they each won per grade.
Right.
But with Noel fell right in, and then Cameron, it took a little while. Like I said, it was rough road at first. I think at the very beginning of the season, he told me he was going to swim. I was ready to strangle him. And I said, "You're not swimming. You don't have any experience swimming at all." He's like, "Oh, it's okay, I'm a good athlete." And I said, "All right, get out of here." He was making me crazy. Getting them to mesh as a team is still the process we're working on. I think we're still trying to learn that family-like atmosphere, even though we're all, we have 3 guys that are laser focused. Yeah, we're still learning that whole thing. We're young. We got a lot of room for growth. We did a lot of good things this year, but we're nowhere near as where we probably should have been or could be. Noel was 27 seconds away from being in the state final. We had 3 semi-finalists, at the state tournament. All 3 were in the semifinals. Cameron wound up, winning it, and we discussed that. And Noel, 27 seconds away from being in the state tournament, and then a really tough match. Things could have went a million different ways. Bottom line is we just got to learn to wrestle at last minute. Stay with our offense, not let guys control our elbows, not reach, move our feet a little better. We just broke down some small things, just little things. But in matches like that against guys that good, little things are what. So we learned that day. He didn't get what he wanted, but I'm so glad I didn't let him affect him in the last match. No knock to Stray or anything. It was a 1-0 match for third, and I think Noel was still in that Twilight Zone feeling of that shell shocking of he wasn't there. I told him, I said, "Man, you almost lost 2 now like that, and how do you think you would have felt there?" And he understood. It's the first time he had to deal with it, but we're learning, right? And then Evan, man, you talk about a kid that does everything right. He does. He drinks the Kool-Aid, and he puts in the extra. And I think this tournament we learned too. We need to pump the brakes a little bit on our warm up. We need to understand that we can't rev our engine in the entire race. The entire time we're gung ho. And
I don't know, Evan.
He's very high. I love it. I love
he's
this.
Definitely got a
But
gas
the big
tank,
one is,
bro.
and we'll make no excuses. We tweak something, and we're not making excuses. We just weren't 100%. We weren't ourselves. And in this tournament, you not only have to have things go your way, officiating, luck, everything. You got to look good, feel good, wrestle good. Everything's got to go your way to win a state title. And we weren't running on our 100% that day. I think after the second round, I seen it, and he still wrestled a great tournament. I mean, he lost the 6'5", the state champ, and then I think he majored the kid for third. A great tournament. He just it wasn't his day.
Between all three of them, there's only 3 losses, though, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're 41, 41, and 40, and then one behind each one of them.
Yeah.
It's 120 wins and 3 kids and 3 losses. You put that record together there, it's hard to go up from there.
Danny's pretending that I can't do it right now.
It's hard to go up from there. So it's like
those boys have had aspirations and dreams to go. They're gonna set out to try to be state champs. And they've got bigger dreams too. I think all of them want to wrestle past high school. I think all of them.
I see
all
both of
kids.
those in their future, though. I definitely see them being underneath the lights. What they do under the lights is up to them. Do I see them winning it? I'm biased. Yes, I do. I don't care. You can be a coach all you want and say it is what it is. I'm rooting for them because I love these kids. And I know you do too, but I'm okay with saying it out loud. I do feel they're going to win it. I know I catch a lot of slack for saying that about kids, but I don't care.
It's a lot of pressure. I think the more we start dealing with things is we're just trying to get better every day. Learn to have fun with it, that it's a game at the end of the day that they love to do, but just get better every day.
Right.
And if we focus on just getting better every day, especially, the kids that already have that natural ability, if they just focus on that small gain every single day, that's what's going to make.
Well, they're definitely pushing towards it, and I like the fact that they've been put in pressure situations now, especially high-level special situations where they're sometimes learning a lesson, sometimes taking a loss. I didn't see any losses by any of those 3 this year. I saw a few lessons where there was could have been a tweak here, could have been a tweak there, could have been a call here, could have been a call there. But these guys are going to be really fun to watch here for the next 3 years and 2 years. But like you said, I honestly do see, God willing, that without injury, they're going to be wrestling on the next level. And it would be really cool to have 3 of your wrestlers that you're bringing up through high school, and then some, a lot of it's through, youth as well, to make it to that 3rd level, to be able to coach. And you've already done this now, where you've coached a kid when he was a little kid, and you coached him when he was in middle school on travel teams, and you coached him when he was in high school on travel teams, and now he's wrestling. So after a while, you guys, a lot of these coaches around here are going to have that. They already do. You're just going to be another one of the coaches around here who are consistently putting, high-level athletes out there. This is the fun thing to watch now. Out there in the sticks in Lowell, these rowdy little Red Devils are putting in some work, man. How's the practices? Are they long, or do you guys just focus on what you need to do and get out of there?
I think different parts of the season, different time frames. Beginning part of the season, obviously, we're going to go a little bit longer. We're going to get back into shape, get those guys out of football shape. A little bit longer, just getting structure down, verbiage down. The newbies are going to learn verbiage, stuff like that. I love to have everybody in on a certain set of drills and techniques that we do and know the lingo off the bat. So once they got that, then we can break off and, we can section off areas of, we've got advanced over here, the JV over here, varsity 1 over here, and we just section them off that way. And then we run our practices accordingly. We drill a little bit high, fast, paced, more in your face, with the varsity, and then it just changes. And then depending on when we're going to peak, right, I was talking to one of my old coaches and camp counselors, wrestled for the University of Iowa, and he's like good friends with Gable, and I see like his Snapchats with Gable all the time. So of course I'm gonna pick his brain to pick the legend's brain. And the first thing I said was, I was like, man, so like at the academy level, which I've been for 8 years straight, those wrestlers come just to they want at that next level, right? Like, They're paying to get better. So you put together that.
This is their homework.
Right. So now season's just it's different, right? We have to peak. We have to get ready for certain events. We have to make sure, and then the mentality's different too. More than half of the wrestlers are there. It's fun. It's part of their, hey, I want to wrestle. I want to be on the wrestling, which is cool. And we do that, So I have to mesh all that. Anyways, I got a hold of him during the season, and I said, how do you peak these guys so many times? I asked Gable, how do you, after I read it and stuff, it was silly. I was like, man, I know this answer, but he was just like, how do you think you just got to peak several times too? You got to go to what conference in order to go to the NCAA tournament, and you have to peak at certain times. You have to get your team ready if you want them ready for the national duels or the competition there, right? So you don't burn out all your guys, and depth is huge, right? So you start looking at. Anyways, I ask questions all the time, and sometimes they're silly, but just hearing it from somebody else that goes, oh, okay.
It's reaffirming though. That's why we get married, so we can ask our wives like the crazy things going in our head. We look to them and say it, and once we say it out loud, we see their face like, "Oh, yep, that was dumb."
No, so yeah, different parts of the season you're trying to figure out. That's I think one of the things with we did really good this year, but our expectations were really really high. But at the same time, we did very good considering the youth and experience that we had as a whole.
Right.
It's so the more I learn and the more we learn and the kids learn all together, I think we're just gonna get better and better and better. And then our coaching staff too, and you mentioned Wesley, and that's awesome to have him in there. I've been begging him for a long time to get back in. I think he was a little bitter about it.
I'm proud of you getting him in there because that isn't easy. Wesley's
he's stubborn. He's the stubborn brother for sure. I'll tell you that right now.
He's more reserved and he's not an outward type of guy. Now he's starting to get to where you can see him in the corner. He's becoming kind of little Kevin at times.
He's vocal, and it's nice to have him there too.
Yeah, and he's really intelligent with wrestling, and I see his wife is doing some RTCs as well.
Yeah, so she wrestled for me when they were kids, and I think they were high school, but yeah, kids. I don't. It's crazy. Yeah. So
I remember when she came up to Hobart when I was coaching at Hobart, and I gave her a pair of wrestling shoes from and we had extra, they're pink ones.
Yeah, so she wrestled for me, and then I've been trying to get her involved with the ladies wrestling with how big it's going.
Good.
And, it'd be great to get it. It's when it's a family affair.
Perfect time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we'll see. I wish they would have done it a little sooner, but we're here, and
later's better than never.
Than never, right. So,
well, Kevin, it was fun to have you on a pinfall tonight, and we appreciate you taking the time to let us come out here and bug you a little bit. We're gonna get a couple questions with your wrestlers here in a little bit, but I really enjoy watching your wrestlers. I like watching you get yelled at. It's fun. Because we're friends and I get to talk smack afterwards. But it is awesome to watch, a guy that I've been begging to get into this situation actually in it now and doing exactly what I kind of knew you would. I hope nothing but the best for you, and I hope everything that you get and that you want next year is what you earned and what you expected. So Kevin, we'll see you here in the season here coming up, and no coach, misconduct in the first match.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. We'll talk to you guys here in a little bit. We're going to bring back the wrestlers here.
Our hero, Lantern Man, faces off against the nefarious insurance swindler.
I'll trick them into a contract and just keep raising the rates.
Luckily, they can make a call to Crow Company's Lantern Man. He's always ready to protect families from the insurance swindler.
I can easily defeat your overpriced policies. Fair prices always prevail when you call me, the Crown Company's Lantern Man.
Crown Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
to Pinfall. I'm your host, Danny Bell, presented by Region Sports, where the region comes to wrestle. We're here today at Elite Athletic Club with Noel Verduzco and Cam Haslett. Now, these are two wrestlers that I've watched wrestle pretty much their entire wrestling career. I've seen them on the road. We've wrestled at so many different tournaments around the nation, and I've gotten an opportunity to see these guys grow. The great thing about these guys is watching them progress from kids having fun to mature adults. And everyone in the state got an opportunity to see that this year, and a lot of you didn't get a chance to see it before, being that they were underclassmen. Now the freshmen are in here showing what they got. We've got a 41-1 and a 40-1, and those weren't really losses, they were lessons. They could say it was a bad idea or a good idea, but they were lessons because they didn't make the same mistakes again. And they each finished their season with an odd number. And that means you didn't get second, you didn't get fourth, and you didn't lose your last match, okay? These guys put it on everybody. And it's an honor to be able to interview you guys as grown men now from the little kids you guys used to be. Noel, I remember starting off coaching you at Maxim Gym with Coach Armando. And it was awesome to get a chance. And I told your mom, he's gonna be a state champ one day. And she said, "You really think so?" And I said, "Trust me on this. He's got what it takes. And wrestling isn't easy." And watching you wrestle and come up, I told her, if you really want somebody that trains similar to the way I do, it's Kevin English. And how's it been in being able to be coached travel-wise by Kevin, and now he's your high school coach?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's great. I feel like I'm comfortable with him. He knows me the best. I feel like him, JJ, those type of guys are always in my corner. Right. Always getting extra work with them for sure. It's definitely great.
Right. JJ is another one that gets to help because he gives you a different aspect from the MMA and the wrestling, and so positioning, he can show a little bit more on that, and he's similar in size. How does that help being able to work with that all over the place?
It's definitely great. He's older, so he's gonna feel like a man. He's a grown man. So I'm gonna be wrestling with man strength.
Right. Being that you're closer in weight to Evan, do you guys get a lot of moments in practice where you guys get to go at it?
Yeah, for sure. Me and him are always usually going, especially when Dalton, got hurt.
Right.
Me and him were training together for sure.
Evan, Evan's not here tonight. He's a little dinged up, but he watching you guys wrestle, all three of you, it was fun. Just seeing the way you guys, and sometimes I come up to you guys before the matches, and I'm like, hey, do this and that. It probably wasn't as nice as I'm saying right now, but
yeah.
Then you guys would go do it, and it was just like, wow, I think I'm becoming a fan rather than a coach, like watching you guys do that was great. And Cam, I got a chance to see you start off with Kevin, and your little sister's in there, and your whole family was pretty much wrestling family. Growing up, I think the females in your family were really good wrestlers as well. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was my mom.
Yeah, she was. I heard some pretty cool stories about it. Even some of the guys I work with knew that she was a good wrestler. And they're like, hey, do you know that Cam kid? I'm like, who? And they showed me. I'm like, yeah. I heard he was good at wrestling. I'm like, good's kind of an understatement. Like, he's really good. And then I would tell the stories. Like, I was even telling it to your grandfather earlier, how you were similar to a Gable Stevenson when you were younger, because in practice you could mess around and you joke around, and on tournaments you'd be joking around, and then you go out on the mat and just destroy people. And then we were wanting to yell at you, you're going to end up getting destroyed. Well, he didn't get destroyed. He kind of, the kid, good job, kid. You didn't have to. We didn't have to discipline you. You kind of just knew what you had to do, and at the time we really didn't notice it. But now that you're older, we realize that this wasn't like, yeah, sometimes you didn't want to go to practice, but you were an amazing talent. You really enjoyed getting better. What was it like to see, like, what kind of, like, your progressions? How does it feel to see, like, you're finally coming into your own with all that work that you put in, and you have fun doing this? So, like, being that you're at this high of a level, what's it feel like now?
It just feels amazing, I believe I was born to wrestle. And people say, "Oh, you gotta have a work ethic because your talent will only get you so far." So I kind of started putting that while I was wrestling, and it helped. It helped dramatically, and it was just great to keep on wrestling with Kevin. Him teaching me some new stuff, and JJ when he came started working with him, but also started working with me, and just progressed very high, which is very great.
Right. You've been working you're the same way with Noel. Kevin has been your coach pretty much the majority of your career. And now he's your high school coach and you get him for another 4 years. You've seen a lot of the talent that he's put out and you guys already know that you're going to be a part of that, that little brood that he's got going. But you guys have a chance to really put a stamp on it. And with you, Cam, you get an opportunity to, right now, you're sitting in the driver's seat to where you could become a legend. No one has ever even thought of a heavyweight becoming a 4-time champ. And in this state, everyone knows how good we are at the heavyweight level. And for everyone in the state to know that their trip to the state finals goes through you now. And you were a freshman. And I don't really think that they understood you until you really got to state where guys actually got a chance to watch you wrestle. I saw the crowd take to you. You became an instant fan favorite. Everyone was in your corner. Now that you have that, you're going to get a lot of attention. How do you think you're going to handle all that?
Actually, I think I've been handling it pretty good because, everywhere I go, it's, oh my God, you're the freshman who just won state as a heavyweight. How does it feel? I'm just sitting here yesterday, I was hanging out with my friend. I spent the night at my friend's house. I go to the gas station, and these 3 people walked in. Oh my God, can I get a picture? And I think I've handled it pretty well. When autographs want to get signed, I sign the autograph, and then they just give me yo, I better see you in the Olympics. I got you. I got you.
Right. Do you have specific? Do you like folk style better than freestyle or Greco or which? Because I know you were really good at Greco and you were pretty good at freestyle as well. And that's why I make jokes on commentary. I was like, "Don't tie up a Cam." Oh, you tied up? No, he's gonna score. He's gonna score. I'm sorry, just don't tie up a Cam. But which one of those 3 styles is your favorite?
I like folk style. I like folk style the most, and it's just because I've been wrestling for 12 years, right? And I've been doing freestyle and folk style and Greco my whole entire life, and it's just freestyle and Greco. It's just you don't really have to work for your moves as much because you just got to get that 90-degree tilt, and that's 2. And so I like folk style more because that actually puts out the talent that you actually got. You got to work for your moves. You got to work to get your points. I like freestyle too. Freestyle's pretty fun. Get to toss a couple kids.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it makes you feel good. But I think folk style is my favorite type of wrestling.
Right on. Noel, what do you think about it? Do you have a favorite style?
I think freestyle.
Freestyle?
Yeah.
You like that a lot? The ring wrestling and pushing out and all that other stuff. I like laces and stuff like that. I like to be able to, consistently roll. It's fun on those. But I think I'm a bigger fan of the 5s, like Cam says. I don't care. I get to toss you, man. Yeah. This is so legal and so fun. And then it's funny because, after freestyle matches and everything, how we throw everybody and everything. And you see these parents watching folk style and they're like, "Is that legal?" In this one, no. But going through your state matches, what was it like in the week before preparing for this? I know it had to be rough because I know Kevin's rooms.
Yeah. I felt like nothing crazy. I felt like it was honestly the same. I felt comfortable. I felt like the room felt, they know what they needed to do. I felt honestly normal. Felt like nothing crazy.
So the approach to state was just business as usual.
Basically, yeah, that's what I felt like.
That's, I like to hear that because then it's, there's no added pressure. And I think that comes down to you guys being tested. Mm-hmm. As one of the things I tried to translate to everyone is how battle tested you guys are. Cam more than you, and no disrespect, because Cam couldn't get the right kind of talent for him in his weight classes, so we would have to bump him up. And he's wrestling grown men.
Yeah.
And they're like up 8-1, and then next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna grab a hold of this kid." And you're going to your back.
Yeah.
Cam's coming home with an eagle. I'm sorry, and that's the way. It was funny watching. You did destroy people as a young kid, and you beat some people that you probably shouldn't have beat. And after watching it, it was just like, yeah, he should have beat him. But you guys got a chance to wrestle on the same teams together and travel and stuff. How does it feel to finally, get to high school and have somebody that's been through the test with you guys?
Feels pretty good. I feel like, I don't know. I just feel
right. I mean, like having Cam with you, you've been wrestling with him a while, so you already know what to expect from him. You can see him and you can cheer him on the way you have been. And then when he's off and when he's on.
For sure.
So do you guys give each other motivation?
Yeah, we all get on each other at practice for sure.
I've been getting on them, but what gets them mad is when I annoy them. They get real mad. They want to get physical.
So when you say annoy them, is it because you just basically antagonize them to get them moving?
Kind of, but also that's kind of just me.
Okay.
I'm a playful guy. I'm a nice guy, but sometimes there's just the moments where they're not trying to.
Well, you get a lot of fans now, and Lowell has a pretty good base, and the teachers in school. Are they different towards you guys now that they know exactly who you are? Because I'm sure they were throughout the year. They already knew,
Yeah.
But getting the state, do the teachers now are like, "What's up, Cam? What's up, Lowell?"
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I even had my nurse. She asked me for my autograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. I went in there to get a little bit of ice and a cough drop because my throat was hurting, and she's like, Can I have your autograph? I was like, I know you're gonna make it one day. Can I have your autograph? I was like, I got you. I said, it might be a little bad, but I gave her my autograph. I walked out, and then Miss Skinner, I love Miss Skinner. She's like, congratulations, Cameron. Now every time I walk past, Miss Skinner saying hello, Miss Doherty, our principal, saying hello. Everyone's just saying hi.
That's awesome. I kind of figured. It happens to a lot of the kids. I notice it, and it's almost they become an instant star.
Yeah,
and it's being able to handle that is what's gonna, that makes you men amongst boys. Hearing you guys talk, and then I've known you guys for a long time, so I know we can really shoot it. And then when we lay it all out there, we can get pretty crazy. But you guys are still the ninth graders that have the intellect of junior in college. I watch your guys' mat IQ, and it's some of the best in the state, and in certain situations, it's the best. Being able to push yourself, I've watched you guys challenge yourself and consistently challenge yourself. Every one of us as wrestling fans are lucky to have you guys in the area, and we're insanely proud at the effort that you guys put in. It couldn't have done it without your parents and your family. They're the ones that are going to push you guys the most. They're the ones that are going to be in your corner, win or lose. And hopefully you guys, and I know you two, and a lot of the guys out there, hopefully you guys understand too, but you really got to give back to the ones who love you. And I watch Noel and his family, and they're all very loving. And the same thing with Cam and his family. His grandfather and his mother are out there right now. It's great to watch them being in the wrestling room constantly. And then I'm coming in at 8 o'clock at night to get an interview with them, and grandpa and mom's out there, and it's great to see these guys have such a great support system. And I can't wait to see your guys' next level. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me yap a little bit.
Appreciate you coming.
But we'll catch you guys here in the season. We'll see if Region Sports may start their own little wrestling tournament and get you guys in there. The Ruckus in the Region, maybe we might call it. I'm not sure. But again, thanks for coming. Let me come in here and talk to you guys. I plan on doing a lot of interviews with you guys throughout the years. hopefully I can get some of my friends over at Ohio State to come here and pay attention to you, Anthony. But again, thanks. And everybody, we appreciate you tuning in. And we have Noel Verduzco and Cam Hazlitt and Hazlitt. Sorry. I'm still going to call him Hazlitt. I don't care. And we got them in here, and we're going to get Evan in here whenever we can. And thanks for joining the Pinfall with us tonight. And just like in life, on the mat, it's all about how you bounce back. I'm Danny Bell. Catch you next time.